Immigration lawyer Swane Foliaki, who's been speaking out about dawn raid tactics, told Lydia Lewis he's extremely disappointed Labour did not announce an amnesty before the election. Figures released to RNZ Pacific show dawn raids have been going on for at least 8 years, even in the year of the apology. One of Swane Foliaki's clients had police knock on his door in the early hours of the morning, scaring his family before taking him into custody.
What was your reaction when you found out at the weekend Labour's amnesty announcement?
Oh, look, you've got to acknowledge the good things that comes your way in this business of granting residence to a lot of our people that's been here 10 years and more. That's okay. But, the last, it was called the transitional provisions, was back in the year 2000, and that was by, I think it was the national government at that time. And it was a case of if you had lived here for 5 years, that was a well-settled policy. They said you've been here long enough, your ties to the community and your contribution and vice versa and so forth was sufficient for you to be able to apply for residence, 2 years work visa, and then for residence. The problem that I've got with what Labour has done here is that they've done something, it's not enough. But it's the timing is they've decided to do this now at the election if they get voted back in. If they really had the best interest of the Pacific people in mind, they would have made these changes 3 months ago, 6 months ago. Then we're not sort of being, looks like they were bribed or forced to go and vote for Labour, just in case they get in to Parliament, they're going to be the government. Then we're going to get these goodies. But what happens? Yeah, if they don't get elected in, it's meaningless, and they could have been done earlier. I'm not really. To be honest, I'm not happy.
Labour's Kamal Sepuloni told us today at our election debate that the reason why it was not implemented while they were in government because they simply did not have enough time and there was a backlog and they just didn't have enough time between that immigration review and the election. Do you buy that?
Not at all. Look, we had 10,000 signatories for this to happen. I think it was about 2 years ago. There was some of our friends had organised for that to happen. There was time. So what would have happened if there was no dawn raid issue? That was my client that dawn raid story broke on that issue. Does that mean that without the dawn raid we would have had time to make these changes? I don't really accept that. That's acceptable, really.
And the issue of the 10 years... What do you think about the 10 years? Previously, in the 2000 amnesty, it was 5 years. That's
right. The 10-year policy is far, far too long. What about those people who have been in overstay for 9 years, 8 years, 7 years? They've had children born here, they've been working, they're paying taxes. They're just unlawfully in the country. You don't need to be here 10 years to be well settled and be part of the fabric of this society in New Zealand and do good and be a contributing migrant. The 5 years I thought that was very reasonable that was given out, in the year 2000. That's 23 years. Nothing has been given by either government.
Do you have any indication as to why it is 10 years?
No, I haven't got any indication. I don't know why. I don't agree with it. I think it's not. I think it's quite a bad mistake. They should have. I don't even know what sort of reasoning or the rationale behind that, but it's excessive, that time frame to consider somebody to be granted residence because it has to be 10 years, the year that long. I suppose it could have some relevance to the 2006 law change that prevented no longer that children of overstayers would become New Zealand citizens. Because now those children are around about the 18 year of age. So all those children are overstayers born in New Zealand. They're not Tongan or Samoan, they're Kiwis. And now they're 18 years old. They have to move to that next chapter of their life. They finish high school, which they were allowed to attend through the Ministry of Education, policy there. But now they're either going to be in the work, looking for work, or they're going to study and try and do tertiary education. Without this change that the Labour has said 10 years, they wouldn't be able to do that, but they can under the 10-year. And I'm not sure whether that number was locked into the children that were born here that weren't included to become, that won't become residents. But, if you've been here for 9 years and you're born in New Zealand, you're still an overseas.